Over the past few weeks, we have talked about what gentle parenting actually is, 5 ways to handle toddler tantrums, and how to set firm boundaries without yelling. And as this channel has been growing, I've noticed something. There are a lot of voices out there telling you to steer clear of gentle parenting, that your child will be ruined by it, that it makes children weak, spoiled, and unable to function in the real world. And I want to address this today, directly and honestly. Because I think a lot of parents are walking away from something that could genuinely transform their family, based on things that are simply not true. Today, we are debunking the 5 biggest myths about gentle parenting, one by one. Before we get into the myths themselves, I want to quickly explain why these misconceptions are so widespread. Gentle parenting is relatively new in the mainstream, and like anything new, it gets misrepresented. It gets confused with permissive parenting. It gets labeled as soft or weak. It gets dismissed on social media by people who have seen one example that didn't look right and assume that that represented the whole approach. And to be fair, there are some people online who describe what they do as gentle parenting, but what they are actually practicing looks quite different from the real thing. The principles of gentle parenting are clear and grounded, and today we are setting the record straight on what they actually are. Myth number 1. Gentle parenting means no rules and no boundaries. This is the biggest and most persistent misconception that I want to squash it completely. Gentle parenting has boundaries, clear ones, firm ones, consistent ones. The difference is not whether the boundary exists. It is how the boundary is communicated and enforced. A gentle parent does not say, "Do whatever you like." A gentle parent says, "This is the boundary. This is why it exists, and it is not moving." The gentleness is in the delivery, not in the absence of structure. In fact, gentle parenting requires more thoughtful structure than almost any other parenting approach. Because you are not relying on fear or force to hold the line. You are relying on relationship, and relationship takes real intention. Let me share a real example from our home. We have one rule that we absolutely adhere to, and I think many families share this one, and that is no hitting. When my eldest was younger and going through tantrums, we would reinforce this boundary every single time, calmly, consistently, every time. And then something happened that I will never forget. One day when she was really angry, I could see it in her face, in her whole body. I watched her physically hold herself back. She felt that urge, and she stopped herself. That is not an accident. That is a seed that was planted patiently and persistently through gentle and consistent instruction. She understood that hitting was not acceptable, not because she feared the consequence, but because she has internalized that boundary. That is one example. Another that matters deeply in our family is honesty. We do not lie, even when she has made a mistake, even when the truth is uncomfortable. We have held that boundary with the same patience and consistency. And what we are building is a child who understands that honesty is not just a rule, it is who we are as a family. Gentle parenting does not mean no rules. It means the rules are taught with enough respect that they actually stick. Myth number 2. Gentle parenting spoils children and makes them unable to handle the real world. This one is deeply personal for me, and I want to share something I have never shared publicly before. I grew up in a family where feelings, especially the hard ones, were not really acknowledged. We were expected to be strong, not to show our negative emotions, to appear tough on the outside regardless of what was happening on the inside. And I want to say this carefully and with love for my own family, because they did the best they knew how. They did the best for us. But the impact of growing up with that lack of emotional acknowledgement has been real and lasting. Till this day, my siblings and I are still working through feelings of not being enough, of being ashamed of our emotions, of wondering whether our feelings are valid at all. I am actively working on healing that, and I know deeply and clearly that is not my fault. It is simply what happens when big feelings are consistently met with silence or dismissal. I share this not to be heavy, but because it is one of the most honest and real examples I can give you of what happens when emotional acknowledgement is missing from childhood. It does not create resilient children. It creates adults who are still learning decades later, and their feelings are allowed to exist. Children raised with empathy do not become weak. They become regulated. They learn to name their emotions, manage them, and recover from them. These are the children who grow into adults who can handle disappointment, negative conflict, and build genuinely healthy relationships. Spoiling comes from an absence of boundaries, not from an abundance of empathy. You can be deeply empathetic and still hold a firm line. In fact, the most emotionally resilient children are almost always the ones who felt most deeply understood. Myth number 3. Gentle parenting means you never say no to your child. Let me be clear. Gentle parents say no all the time, every day. The difference is in how the no is delivered. Instead of no because I said so, it sounds like no, and here is why. Instead of no followed by punishment, it sounds like no followed by an explanation, an acknowledgement of the feeling, and sometimes an alternative. And here is something I find genuinely beautiful about this approach. Children are like sponges. They want to understand the world around them and how it works. When you give them the reasoning behind a boundary, it enhances the effect. Because they begin to practice that boundary with a real understanding of it, rather than just a fear of what happens if they don't. And sometimes, and this will surprise you, you will hear them explain that exact reasoning back to you or to someone else, completely unprompted. Your child becomes not just a follower of the rule, but an understander of it. That is a very different thing, and it lasts so much longer. Your child still hears no. They just also feel respected in the process. That respect is not weakness. It is exactly what teaches them to accept no gracefully as they grow. Myth number 4. You have to be naturally calm and patient person to practice gentle parenting. And this is the one I really want to speak to, because I think this myth is the one that stops the most parents from even trying. You might hear everything I share on this channel and think, that sounds beautiful, but it is just not for me. I'm not that kind of person. I lose my temper, I yell, I'm not patient by nature. And I want to reassure you, from one real mom to another, Everyone can practice gentle parenting. You do not have to be calm to begin. You just have to be willing to take baby steps. And when you do, you will start to see the difference, not just in your child, in yourself as a parent too. I want to recommend a book that genuinely changed something in me. It is called Good Inside by Dr. Becky Kennedy. One of the most important points she makes, and it hit me like a wave the first time I read it, is this. Your child is genuinely good inside, with good intentions, even when their behavior looks anything but good. That one idea has become a pillar for me. When my daughter is having a really hard time, I pause, just for a second, and I try to see her through a different lens. Not as a child who is misbehaving, but as a child who is struggling. That shift in perspective changes everything about how I show up for her in that moment. It helps me understand not just what she's doing, but why. And when you understand the why, the how becomes so much gentler naturally. Myth number 5. Gentle parenting means ignoring bad behavior and letting children get away with things. This could not be further from the truth. Gentle parenting addresses every behavior. It addresses the root of it rather than just the surface. When a child hits, a gentle parent does not look away and say, "That is okay." A gentle parent gets down to eye level and says, "We do not hit. Hitting hurts. I can see you are really frustrated right now. Let us figure it out together." You're not excusing the behavior. You are treating it as communication, which in a toddler, it almost always is. And when you address the root, the behavior changes, not just in that moment, but over time, deeply and lastingly. Gentle parenting is not perfect parenting. It is not permissive parenting. It is not parenting without boundary, without no, or without consequences. It is parenting with intention, with empathy, with the deep belief that how we treat our children in their smallest, hardest moments shapes who they become for the rest of their lives. If any of these myths were things you believed before today, I hope this helped. And if you're just starting out and feeling unsure, that is okay. Start small. Take one idea from today and try it tonight. That is all it takes to begin. Drop a comment below and tell me which myth surprised you the most. I would love to know. Subscribe for next week, and I will see you then.